There's a moment in everyone's life when they realize that change isn't waiting on some perfect day. It's waiting on a single decision, 1 hour. That's all it takes to begin rewriting your story. 60 minutes that most people waste scrolling, complaining, or waiting for motivation could be the very thing that turns your life around. You see, transformation doesn't demand a complete overhaul overnight. It demands intention, consistency, and the courage to start, even if it's just for 1 hour a day. Imagine if instead of saying, I don't have time, you said, I'll find 1 hour. 1 hour to read instead of scroll. 1 hour to move instead of sit. 1 hour to build instead of dream. Because in that small, disciplined choice lies the secret that separates those who wish from those who achieve. The truth is, 1 hour of focused effort each day compounds faster than you think. In a month, that's 30 hours. In a year, that's over 300. That's a new skill, a new mindset, a new version of you. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, but the real power belongs to those who are patient enough to grow quietly, hour by hour. Every great athlete, every visionary, every leader started somewhere small, not with 10 hours of genius, but with 1 hour of commitment. That hour builds momentum, discipline, and identity. And once you taste progress, you'll crave it. So today, ask yourself, what if you devoted just 1 hour to the life you've been dreaming about? What if, instead of waiting for the perfect time, you made time? Because 1 hour a day can do more than change your schedule. It can change your destiny. The power of consistent daily effort is one of the most underrated forces in personal growth. Many people underestimate what can be achieved through small, repeated actions performed with intention. 1 hour a day may not seem like much, but when used consistently and purposefully, it becomes the foundation of transformation. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary often lies in what a person chooses to do with that 1 hour, whether they invest it in growth or waste it in distraction. Every day presents the same 24 hours to everyone, yet it's how we spend those hours that defines our path. When one commits to dedicating a single hour each day to improvement, they begin a process of steady evolution that compounds over time, shaping both mindset and ability. Consistency is what separates fleeting motivation from lasting results. It builds momentum, discipline, and resilience. When you show up for yourself every day, even for just an hour, you send a message to your mind that growth is non-negotiable. The effort might feel small at first, almost insignificant, but each repetition strengthens your focus and your belief in what's possible. Over weeks and months, the cumulative effect of that daily effort becomes visible. New habits form, new skills develop, and confidence grows. What once felt difficult becomes natural because consistency rewires the brain to adapt and improve through repetition. The secret to success is rarely found in dramatic breakthroughs. It's hidden in the quiet persistence of showing up when no one's watching. 1 hour of deep work, learning, or self-development builds the muscle of dedication, and that muscle can carry you through challenges in every area of life. People often overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year with consistent effort. That's because results don't come from intensity alone, they come from sustainability. By showing up daily, even in small doses, you create a rhythm of progress that becomes unstoppable over time. Consistency also instills patience. It teaches that growth isn't about perfection, but about persistence. Each day's effort adds a small piece to the larger picture, and with each piece, the vision becomes clearer. The power of consistent daily effort is that it compounds silently, like drops of water that eventually carve stone. That 1 hour, practiced faithfully, doesn't just build skills, it builds character. It shapes your mindset into one of responsibility and purpose, reminding you that success isn't about doing everything once, but doing the right thing every single day until it becomes who you are. The illusion of no time is one of the most common barriers people create between themselves and their goals. In reality, it is not the lack of time that holds people back, but the lack of clarity in how they use it. Every person has the same 24 hours in a day, yet some individuals manage to transform their lives while others remain stuck in the same cycle of frustration. The truth is, when someone says they have no time, what they often mean is that they haven't prioritized the things that truly matter. Time is not found, it is made. It is carved out intentionally for what fuels progress and purpose. The illusion comes from the belief that only large chunks of time can make a difference, when in fact one focused hour a day can shift the direction of an entire life. Modern life has made it easy to waste time without realizing it. Social media, endless entertainment, and constant distractions create the false feeling of being busy while accomplishing very little. People fill their schedules with noise but neglect what brings meaning. The illusion of no time thrives in this environment because it convinces the mind that life is too hectic for self-growth, too demanding for reflection, and too fast-paced for discipline. Yet, those who achieve transformation are not the ones with more hours. They are the ones who control how they spend them. By removing this illusion, individuals regain power over their time and begin to direct it toward growth rather than routine. The key to breaking this illusion lies in awareness. Once a person becomes conscious of how much time slips away in distraction, they realize that an hour of focus each day is not impossible but entirely within reach. It may mean waking up earlier, reducing screen time, or saying no to unnecessary commitments, but the rewards far outweigh the sacrifices. That 1 hour used for learning, creating, or self-improvement begins to generate results that compound with consistency. The more someone commits to this, the more they see how much time they truly have when used intentionally. The illusion of no time fades the moment someone takes responsibility for how they live each day. It's not about finding spare moments, but choosing to make them meaningful. Time is not an external force that controls us. It's a reflection of our priorities. When people begin to see that, they stop chasing time and start commanding it, turning one intentional hour a day into the foundation of lasting change. The compounding effect is one of the most powerful yet often overlooked principles of success and personal growth. It's the idea that small, consistent actions performed over time create results far greater than the sum of their parts. Just like a small investment grows exponentially through interest, daily effort multiplies through consistency. 1 hour a day may not seem significant in the moment, but when that hour is spent deliberately, learning, improving, or building something meaningful, it accumulates into extraordinary progress. The compounding effect rewards patience, discipline, and persistence, turning small beginnings into major achievements for those who stay committed long enough to see it unfold. Most people fail to recognize this truth because they focus only on immediate results. They want to see change quickly, and when progress doesn't show right away, they lose motivation. But real growth is subtle in the beginning. It happens quietly beneath the surface. Each hour spent reading, practicing, or developing a skill might seem insignificant at first, yet over months and years, these hours stack up, forming the foundation of mastery. The compounding effect doesn't just apply to skills or success, it applies to mindset. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, or effort over excuses, you're strengthening mental habits that will shape your future decisions. What makes this principle so powerful is that it works both ways. Just as positive actions compound into success, negative ones compound into regret. Skipping one day may not seem harmful, but repeated enough times it builds the habit of inconsistency. Likewise, 1 hour of focus may not feel transformative, but when repeated daily, it becomes unstoppable momentum. The compounding effect magnifies whatever you feed it, whether it's progress or procrastination. That's why awareness and intentionality are crucial. Every small choice matters because it either adds to your growth or subtracts from it. The magic of compounding lies in time. The longer you stay consistent, the greater the payoff. What once took immense effort becomes easier, and what once felt out of reach becomes routine. Each day's work builds upon the last, creating a chain of progress that strengthens with every link. Over months and years, that 1 hour a day evolves into a transformed skill set, a sharper mindset, and a deeper sense of purpose. The compounding effect doesn't promise instant success, but it guarantees eventual success to those who remain patient, consistent, and focused on the small steps that build into greatness. The shift from consumption to creation marks a profound turning point in anyone's personal growth journey. In a world overflowing with information, entertainment, and digital distractions, most people spend their days consuming rather than creating. They scroll through endless content, watch others succeed, and fill their minds with ideas that rarely turn into action. Consumption feels productive because it gives the illusion of learning, but without creation, knowledge never transforms into progress. The true power of 1 hour a day lies in redirecting that time from passive intake to active output, from watching to doing, from thinking to building, from observing life to shaping it. Creation demands engagement. It requires you to step out of the role of a spectator and into that of a participant. When you dedicate 1 hour a day to creating something, whether it's writing, designing, training, or building a business, you begin to experience the world differently. That hour forces you to apply what you know, to stretch your abilities, and to face the discomfort that comes with growth. Unlike consumption, which offers instant gratification, Creation offers delayed but lasting fulfillment. It challenges you to produce something of value, something that reflects your effort and your identity. Over time, that creative habit builds self-belief, discipline, and momentum that no amount of passive learning could ever achieve. The modern age has made consumption effortless and constant. Every platform is designed to capture attention, keeping people stuck in a loop of endless scrolling, comparing, and wishing. But creation breaks that cycle. When you create, you take back control of your attention and energy. You stop feeding distractions and start investing in your future. The act of creating something tangible, a project, a skill, a piece of art, or even a stronger body, anchors you in purpose. It transforms idle time into productive growth. And with each hour of creation, you don't just improve what you're working on, you improve yourself. This shift from consumption to creation also redefines success. Instead of measuring worth by how much you've absorbed, you begin to measure it by how much you've contributed. The 1 hour you dedicate each day to creating becomes a statement of intent, a declaration that your time will no longer be spent watching others live their dreams. It will be spent building your own. Each day you create, you're adding something to the world that didn't exist before. And in doing so, you begin to shape not just your circumstances, but your character. Building discipline and momentum is the bridge between intention and achievement. Most people have dreams, goals, and plans, but what separates those who succeed from those who only wish is the ability to stay consistent when motivation fades. Discipline is the inner strength that drives you to act even when you don't feel like it. And momentum is the energy that builds when you continue to act despite resistance. When you dedicate 1 hour a day to improving yourself, you are not just working toward a goal, you are training your mind to follow through, no matter how small the step. That repetition is what shapes character and rewires behavior, turning temporary effort into an unbreakable habit. At first, building discipline feels uncomfortable. The mind resists change because it craves familiarity and ease. But when you push through that initial discomfort, you begin to discover your capacity for persistence. Every time you show up during that 1 hour, even when you are tired, distracted, or unmotivated, you are strengthening the muscle of commitment. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It grows each time you choose action over excuses, focus over procrastination, and purpose over comfort. The more you practice discipline, the less you rely on fleeting motivation because your actions become driven by habit, not emotion. Once discipline takes root, momentum begins to build. Momentum is the invisible force that makes continued effort feel easier with time. It's the reward of staying consistent long enough for progress to start showing. When you see results, even small ones, it reinforces your belief that your efforts matter, and that belief fuels even greater action. What started as a challenge becomes a routine, and what once required willpower becomes second nature. The process shifts from forcing effort to flowing with it. That is the power of momentum. It transforms hard work into a natural rhythm that pulls you forward. Together, discipline and momentum form the foundation of transformation. Discipline ensures you start and keep going. Momentum ensures you stay in motion and accelerate. 1 hour of focused effort each day, practiced with discipline, eventually turns into a lifestyle. You begin to crave the growth that comes from it, and soon skipping that hour feels unnatural. Through discipline, you gain control over your mind. Through momentum, you gain control over your progress. And when both align, success becomes less about trying harder and more about continuing effortlessly in the direction of your purpose. The ripple effect of dedicating 1 hour a day to self-improvement extends far beyond the boundaries of that single hour. What begins as a small, personal commitment gradually influences every aspect of life, mindset, relationships, habits, and even the way you perceive challenges. Change rarely stays contained, it spreads, transforming everything it touches. When you decide to invest 1 focused hour daily into bettering yourself, you initiate a ripple that moves outward, creating momentum that impacts both your inner world and the external world around you. Over time, that simple act becomes a catalyst for deep transformation, not just in what you do, but in who you become. This ripple effect starts internally. As you begin to commit to consistent growth, your confidence rises. You start to see evidence that progress is possible, which reshapes your beliefs about your potential. That new belief influences the way you approach every task, making you more resilient, more determined, and more optimistic. 1 hour of focused action a day teaches you that progress doesn't depend on massive leaps, but on steady movement. That realization changes how you view effort. It becomes less about intensity and more about consistency. The discipline gained from this routine spills into other areas of life. You start managing time better, prioritizing what matters, and approaching problems with a solution-oriented mindset. The external ripple is just as powerful. People around you notice the change, your focus, your energy, your growth, and it begins to inspire them. Your consistency becomes a silent example of what's possible through dedication. Without even intending to, you start influencing others to re-evaluate their habits, to believe in their potential, and to pursue their goals with the same quiet persistence. The energy you create through self-improvement attracts better opportunities, better people, and better outcomes. You begin to shape your environment by first shaping yourself. Over time, this ripple expands into every corner of your life. The 1 hour that once felt small becomes the foundation upon which everything else stands. It affects how you think, how you act, and how you lead. It changes the standard you hold yourself to and the expectations you set for your future. The ripple effect proves that transformation doesn't come from radical change all at once, but from the steady influence of small, repeated actions that gather strength over time. Each hour of intention adds another wave to your progress until it becomes a tide strong enough to change the entire course of your life.